After a lifetime of love, work, memories, and moments, the age of 80 is not just another milestone. It's a mirror that reflects the truth of your journey, the weight of your choices, and the reality of time. As we grow older, we often seek comfort in our routines and familiarity. But no one, not the rich, not the wise, not even the most disciplined among us, can escape certain truths that settle in after 80. These are not just ideas, these are realities, and some of them are hard to accept. But in this video, we're not here to complain. We're here to open our hearts, share our wisdom, and prepare our spirits. Before we go deeper, make sure to subscribe to our channel, Faith Wisdom. Here, we talk about what truly matters: life, meaning, resilience, and inner peace. If you're someone who values the deeper truths and wants to walk the last chapters of life with grace and strength, this is your home. Now, let's begin. And remember, the last reality is the most important of all. Number 1, the loneliness of outliving others. As you step into your 80s, there's a silent truth that follows you everywhere. It's not about being forgotten by the world. It's about outliving it. You start to realize that many of the people who knew your childhood smile, your teenage dreams, your youthful mistakes, they're no longer here. Your circle shrinks not by choice, but by fate. Friends you laughed with, siblings you played with, even neighbors you once waved to every morning, one by one, they disappear into memory. And what's left is a kind of solitude that can't be described with mere words. You might be surrounded by family. You may have loving children and attentive caretakers. But it's not the same. Because there's a depth to relationships that only time can build. And once those relationships are gone, no new connection can quite replace them. There are days when you catch yourself reaching for the phone to call a friend, only to realize their number no longer exists. You sit on the porch and remember the jokes you once shared, the songs you once danced to, and the voices that once filled your life, and it hurts. But this reality also brings a deeper kind of wisdom. You begin to understand that memories are sacred, and that your very presence is a living archive. You are the bridge between generations, the keeper of stories, the one who remembers when the world was different. And in that realization there is purpose even in loneliness. Number 2, the body is no longer yours. In your 80s, your body becomes something of a stranger. The limbs that once carried you through long walks, the back that lifted children into your arms, the eyes that once saw everything so clearly, they all begin to slow down. You might wake up one morning and realize your knees ache for no reason. You may notice your balance is off, your hearing is fading, or that once simple tasks now require effort and patience. It's not about weakness, it's about change. Inevitable, unstoppable, uninvited. But perhaps the hardest part is not the physical pain. It's the sense that your independence is slipping, that you now need help where you once gave it freely. That things like driving, cooking, or even dressing require a moment of thought or even assistance. And with that comes frustration, maybe even shame. You may feel like a burden, but here's the truth. Needing help doesn't make you less worthy. It makes you human. The body may decline, but the soul never weakens. The heart still loves. The mind still remembers. The spirit still hopes. And sometimes, in the quiet pain of aging, you discover a new kind of strength. The strength to surrender with dignity, to ask for help with grace, and to walk slower, but wiser. Number 3, the world feels unfamiliar. You may look around and think, what happened to the world I knew? Streets have changed. Faces have changed. Values have changed. Technology moves faster than your thoughts can keep up. You might remember a time when a handshake was a promise, when families sat together at dinner, when neighbors truly knew each other, and when children said please and thank you without being reminded. Now, the world feels colder, faster, more distracted, and while progress has brought many good things, it can also feel like you've been left behind in a race you never signed up for. Conversations are shorter, devices are louder, and even love feels different. Less handwritten letters and more emojis on a screen. Sometimes you try to understand it. You try to fit in. You nod politely when your grandchildren show you something on their phone. But deep inside, you long for the simplicity of your younger days. This feeling of unfamiliarity can lead to isolation. It's easy to feel like a stranger in your own time. But remember this, you are a survivor of eras. You've lived through wars, recessions, revolutions, and rebirth. Your experience is not outdated, it is timeless. Instead of trying to chase the world, let the world learn from you. Let your silence speak wisdom. Let your stories become their compass. And never forget, what you carry inside you is more valuable than any new technology. Number 4. Regret becomes louder than memory. One of the hardest truths after 80 is this. Regret whispers louder than ever. It's not about the things you did. Often, it's about the things you didn't do, the dreams you buried for the sake of others, the apologies you never gave, the moments you let slip by, thinking you had more time. Time has a cruel way of making us look back, not to remember, but to reconsider. You might remember the opportunity you ignored because fear held you back, the loved one you lost touch with, the passion you set aside because life demanded you be responsible. And now, sitting in the stillness of your later years, those choices rise from the past like ghosts. But listen closely. Regret is not your enemy. It is your teacher. Regret reminds us that life is not measured by perfection, but by awareness. And even now, even after 80, you still have something very few people do: clarity. You can still reach out. You can still make peace. You can still forgive. And most importantly, you can still teach others not to repeat your regrets. The past may be unchangeable, but the future, however short, is still yours to shape. Let your regrets be the soil where new wisdom grows. Let them be the reason someone else lives fuller, laughs louder, and loves deeper. Because sometimes the most powerful thing an elder can do is turn their regrets into guiding lights for others. Number 5. You begin to face the weight of irrelevance. One of the most painful truths about growing older, especially after 80, is not just the fading of your strength, but the fading of your voice. In the earlier stages of life, you were needed. Your opinions were asked for. Your wisdom was valued. You held roles: father, mother, mentor, leader, worker, friend. You made decisions. You gave advice. You shaped lives. But then slowly, something shifts. Now, conversations move on without you. Decisions are made without your input. People nod when you speak, but their eyes glance toward their phones. The world you once helped build seems to function just fine without you. And deep down, an unspoken question lingers in your mind. Do I still matter? That question is heavy. It comes in waves, maybe when you sit alone at dinner, or when no one calls for days, or when your suggestions are ignored as old-fashioned. It's not that your loved ones don't care. It's that the world today doesn't slow down long enough to listen. But here's what they don't see. You carry centuries inside you. Not just your own years, but the stories of your parents, your grandparents, and the generations before. You are a living monument of time, a breathing archive, a walking testament to resilience. And even if society forgets, your worth does not fade. Your relevance doesn't lie in whether others notice you. It lies in what you still give from the heart. A smile, a kind word, a shared story. These are not small acts, these are seeds of light. And one day someone will recall your words, your way of life, your quiet strength, and they'll understand how deeply you mattered. So no, you're never irrelevant. You are simply speaking in a language the world has forgotten to slow down and hear. Number 6, the mind begins to play tricks on you. In your 80s, you may notice something that's harder to explain to others. Your body might still walk the same paths, but your mind begins to wander without permission. You forget names of familiar faces. You enter a room and can't recall why. You retell the same story, unaware you shared it yesterday. And sometimes your memories feel like photographs left out in the rain, blurry around the edges. It's not just forgetfulness, it's a slow, quiet shift in how the world registers through your mind. And it's terrifying, because your identity lives in your memory. You are the sum of your experiences, your stories, your knowledge. So when that begins to fray, even slightly, you feel as if pieces of yourself are slipping through your fingers. You might feel ashamed, embarrassed, afraid to talk about it. But let this truth sink in deeply. You are not your forgetfulness. You are not your confusion. You are not your fading memory. You are your essence, your love, your impact. You are the lessons you passed down, the character you instilled in others, the warmth you've given, and the kindness you've shown. Yes, your mind may forget certain things, but the hearts you've touched, they never forget you. And if the day ever comes when your memory no longer serves you, know that you have already planted seeds in others that will outlast your mind. So be gentle with yourself. Accept your slips with humor when you can, with grace when you must, and with love always. You are still here. You are still you. Number 7, you begin to prepare for the final goodbye, the most important one. Now we arrive at the 7th reality. This one is not only the most important, it's also the most personal. Because after 80, no matter how strong you are, no matter how positive you stay, there is a quiet understanding that takes root deep inside you. You are nearing the end. Not as a fear, not as a sadness, but as a truth. The world around you becomes more beautiful and more distant. The laughter of children makes you smile in ways it didn't before. Sunsets feel longer. The sound of the wind through the trees stirs something in you, because you're seeing life now through the eyes of someone who understands how precious every second really is. And while others worry about bills, likes, news, or trends, you see beyond it all. You begin to wonder, have I made peace with my life? Have I forgiven those I need to forgive? Have I spoken my love to the people who mattered? Have I prepared my soul for what lies beyond? You begin to look not just backward at your memories, but forward, toward eternity. And this is where your greatest strength lies. You're no longer trapped by ego, by ambition, by the illusions of permanence. You are awake, aware. You know that goodbye is coming, not in fear, but as a chapter you've always known would arrive. And this is where faith becomes your closest companion. Because when the body is weak and the mind unsteady, faith holds your hand. When memories fade, faith reminds you that your soul remembers. When you feel alone, faith whispers, you are never alone. You are returning home. This reality cannot be escaped by anyone. But it does not have to be a shadow. It can be a sunrise. Your goodbye is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your legacy. And the beauty of a life well lived is that it never truly ends. It becomes part of others. It becomes part of heaven. So smile when you look at the sky. Hug your loved ones a little tighter. Speak your truths while you still can. Because after 80, the most powerful thing you can do is live each day as if it is a gift wrapped in eternity. Final message. If you've stayed with us till this point, thank you. You've just walked through the deepest, most human truths we all must face. And the fact that you're here means your heart is still open, still strong, still full of wisdom. You are not alone. These realities are not curses. They are confirmations that you've lived long enough to witness what most people never do. If this message touched you, please subscribe to our channel, Faith Wisdom. Here, we speak with honesty. We share stories for the soul. We honor your experience, your journey, and your legacy. Let's keep walking this path together, with grace, with courage, and with faith. Because you, dear friend, are a blessing to this world.